From a stroll in an English garden to colorful containers by creative kids, it's a Mother's Day tribute from the garden, coming up next. Hi, I'm Alan Smith. Welcome to the show. Today, we're focused on Mother's Day. You know, spring is definitely springing out there. Just take a look at these Dutch iris I just cut out of the garden. They're very long-stemmed and they're still in tight bud, but in just a day or so, they'll open and be glorious in their color. These are really a dark purple, one of my favorites. You know, when I was a kid, one of the things I used to do for Mom for Mother's Day was to do something nice for her, like prepare a meal or plant a flower bed. In today's show, I want to give you 3 ideas that you can do for Mom. The first idea is a cold carrot soup. Hey, don't knock it until you've tried it. It's a wonderful accompaniment to a brunch, particularly with a bouquet of these beautiful pink impression tulips. What showstoppers? Now for a more traditional idea, how about a container? We'll meet up with a couple of kids who are putting together something special for their mom with a little help from Dad. Now, if you want to go all out, we've got a Mother's Day menu and a chef from the Viking cooking school to do a demonstration. But don't grab a pen and paper because the recipes are on my website, pallansmith.com. Right now, let's head into the break. And when we come back, we'll visit a gorgeous garden in England that's perfect for a Mother's Day stroll. The first time I visited this garden, I was a student at the University of Manchester studying garden history and design. While strolling the grounds, I happened upon a stately gentleman who struck up a conversation and insisted I meet his wife, a very keen gardener. And what happened next changed my life. I was ushered into this house on the estate at Arley Hall and introduced to Lady Elizabeth Ashbrook, and an instant friendship was forged. Over the years, I've come to know the whole family, who call the estate at Arley Hall home. There's Jane Foster, the daughter who inherited her mother's gardening intuition and design style. Then there's Michael, the Viscount Ashbrook, who took on the grove and created a lovely woodland walking park. And finally, Michael's wife, Zoe. Now, coming into a family with such a rich gardening heritage must have been daunting, but Zoe seems to have developed the same love for Arley as her mother-in-law, Elizabeth.
I think every generation here has sort of contributed a bit and have their own bit of garden they've created, and it's been great fun, and then to try and carry that on, it's rather unusual that sort of all these generations are all very keen, and of course it reflects on the garden, I think, if you are keen. So I hope it goes on. And my daughter, who's married, she's got a little flat with a roof garden, and she's asking, we're trying to get it organised. We were up there last weekend and went and got the soil for the tubs and various things we're going to put. So I think she'll, get very interested.
I think you really can see the individual personality come through a garden. It's a beautiful artistic expression.
Yes, well, it's fun if you can sort of put your, a bit of a difference, a change of personality on a particular bit of garden.
Right, right. And here at Arley, the personalities of the creators actually come through the gardens. Yeah, it's marvelous.
Yes, I think each generation has contributed a bit throughout to the Arley garden, and it's worked well, I think.
From an English family estate to a family passing on their love of gardening to their children, we'll get tips on creating a beautiful Mother's Day container right after this. If you've got a gardener in your life, you know a visit to a garden center or a nursery like this is a must during any spring, summer, or fall holiday. Mother's Day is actually one of the busiest times for plant sales, so if you're thinking of putting together a container combination, we thought you might enjoy eavesdropping on Andy Aiken as he shows his 2 children, Olivia and Eric, how to put together a winning combo for their mom.
All right, guys, look at all these beautiful plants. We're going to make Mom a wonderful container this year. I know she's going to love it because it's coming from your heart, and that's going to be really special. You know how she loves the stuff that you guys helped me with. The first one we're going to use is this Pennisetum rubrum. Look at this. What does that look like?
Feels like a cattail.
Yeah, a cattail, a little bunny tail, and it It blows in the wind when the wind blows, so.
It's so fat.
It is so fat. So we're gonna start off with that one. And I'm just gonna break up the root ball on here a little bit. Get those roots in the pot a little easier. I'm gonna pull that open, and I'm gonna just wedge it right down in there. So we'll start off with the tallest one towards the back since this is going up by the garage, right?
Yep.
Okay. Now, what else do you think she might like? Eric, why don't you hand me this one?
Okay.
Ooh, this is a beautiful one. This is a sweet potato vine. What does a vine do? It kind of gets creepy and crawly and hangs down over the edge of the pot?
Yeah.
This one's kind of fun because on the inside at the end of the year, the root system is going to turn into a sweet potato. You guys like sweet potatoes. Those are fun, huh?
Yep.
So we'll put that one towards the front so it has a chance to kind of drape over the front of the pot that way. And it's going to give it this nice chartreuse color all season long. Now, we got this beautiful maroon color with this nice chartreuse color. What do you think about this one?
Oh, this is really, really fluffy and soft. How about we use it? It's really good.
Take a little smell too.
It smells great.
Oh, it's so fragrant, yeah. So that's great too, because when she comes home from work, she can come in, she'll be able to smell this by the door there. So I'm gonna tuck this one in right over here, because this one's a little bit taller, and we're just gonna kind of find its place in the pot here, and it can tuck in between the two. And look at the purple against the yellow and the maroon. Isn't that pretty?
I think Mom will love it. It looks beautiful.
I think we're well on our way. Yeah, she's gonna be so happy.
Here, Dad, I think Mom will love this one. What is it?
It's an Angelonia. It's angel face Wedgwood blue. It's one of the new varieties for this year, and it's great because it's got this beautiful orchid-like flower on it. And it's gonna get to be about a foot tall to 18 inches tall. So we'll stick it in the back here, and that way it can kind of compete with the other stuff down front. Good choice, Olivia.
This is a really cool one. It's like a ponytail.
Yeah, it is. When you feel it like this, feel that. Yeah, it's just like a horse's tail. Did you feel that one? Yeah, that's cool because it moves in the wind too. So we'll stick this one right on the side for a little texture over here. It's gonna be very nice.
Dad, I think we need some more flowers. Mom will like pink.
Yeah, I think you guys are right. So more flowers. We'll use this Intensia phlox here, this Cabernet. And the purple will contrast against the blue. We'll pick up the purple in the leaf tone of the grass. And the contrast against this leaf is gonna be really nice. So I think you guys are right. We'll stick this one back in here because it's gonna get to be about a foot tall, and it'll help fill all this airy space on the edge.
There's a big hole in the middle.
Yeah, there is.
I think this is good. It smells.
Yeah, this is rosemary. Mom can use this in all her cooking. She can come out and just take cuttings off it as she needs it. And this will help that hole right in the middle here. And then she can use it to cook from too. I think that's a great idea, guys. All right, great. We have room for one more plant. Which one do you guys think we should use next?
This one. No, this one.
Ooh.
No, this one. This one.
Well, those are
This
both good
one.
plants, but I like this yellow one because it's got a nice punch of color against the pink here and the blues, yellows and blues with the chartreuse. This is Oenothera lemon drop. It's a perennial, but it works great in annual containers. Let's stick that in, and I think you'll really like the final working.
It looks really cool, Dad. I love it, Dad. It's better than these.
Yeah, this is a great choice with that yellow that's going to bounce off the purples and the pinks with the nice chartreuse flower here. I think Mom's really going to love it. Great job, guys. Thanks for your help.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
That recipe for cold carrot soup and tips on arranging tulips coming up next. And a little later, a sample from a Mother's Day brunch from the kitchens of the Viking Cooking School. There's so many choices out there when it comes to Mother's Day gifts, but I think the ones that are the most special are those that require a little extra time and love on our part, like giving someone a bouquet of flowers from your garden or creating a special meal for them. This Mother's Day, I'm preparing a cold carrot soup for my mom. Let me show you how I put it together. You'll need about 8 medium-sized carrots sliced thinly, a cup of leeks chopped, and about a teaspoon of minced ginger. Now over here on the stove, I have 4 cups of chicken broth and 2 tablespoons of butter that I've brought to just a slight boil. Now I'm going to combine the carrots, leeks, and ginger to this and cook it over a medium heat until the carrots are tender. Next, take these cooked ingredients, blend them together, and return them to the saucepan. Now here, you'll add 2 cups of orange juice, or as much as you want to the desired consistency. Add salt and pepper and bring this just to a boil, and then take it to the refrigerator to chill. The combination of carrots and orange juice make a beautiful color, and this can be easily garnished with a slice of orange and just a touch of mint. Now this recipe will serve 6 to 8 people, and what a festive way to celebrate Mother's Day. I often hear people say, you know, I love tulips, but the only thing I don't like about them is that they don't come back year after year. They're not perennial. Well, actually, tulips are perennial if you go back to the species tulips before they were highly developed, but they're perennial in their native environment. You see, originally they came from Central Asia. Now, in the American garden, the reason tulips don't persist and come back year after year with the same vigor they did the first year you planted them is because the foliage dies back so soon, particularly in the South. It's this foliage that reinvigorates the bulb. Without it, there's no chance of it coming back. Now in northern gardens, there's a greater chance of tulips being more perennial because the spring is cooler and longer. But even there, you need to replant a few bulbs each fall to keep the display as effective and beautiful as it can be. As for southern gardeners, well, the modern hybrid tulip is considered an annual. You have to plant it each year, but it's very much worthwhile. Okay, from a feast for the eyes to a feast for the palate, a Garden Fresh Mother's Day recipe right after this. The spring means many things in the garden. For starters, fresh greens and beautiful flowers. And it also means chefs from around the country are revving up after a long winter. Meet Chef Elizabeth Haskell. She's going to show us how to create a chocolate-bottom strawberry tart.
Mother's Day is the perfect time to give a gift that's homemade, especially when it's food. We're going to be making an absolutely wonderful chocolate-bottom tart with fresh strawberries and whipped cream. What we're going to start by doing is making our crust. Now we're going to go ahead and take our 1.5 sticks of butter, and we're also going to go ahead and add our sugar. It's really important to let the mixer go for about a minute. You really want this mixture to become very, very light and really, really fluffy. It's going to really affect the end product. At this point, we're going to add 1 4 cups of all-purpose flour, 1/4 cup of unsweetened cocoa. The mixture will still be a little bit crumbly, but don't let that bother you. We're going to give it a few stirs, and that will bring it together. We're going to remove this blade. And like I said, at this point, the mix is going to be crumbly, but we are just going to pull this back together. This is a great dish for the children to help with. The children at this point could come and, of course, wash their hands and do their favorite thing in the world, which is make a mess. So we'll go ahead and form this into a ball. This sheet has been sprayed with a little oven spray. It's going to help with the sticking. Now that we're in a ball, we're just going to flatten this out. We want it to be about 12 inches, which is, about the size of a medium to large pizza. This is a really, it's a free-form tart, which makes it even that much nicer for children to be dealing with. Once this is patted out, we're going to go ahead and put this into a preheated oven that's set at 350 degrees. This is the final product. It has cooled completely, which is a real important step. Now we're going to go ahead and make our filling. We're going to take 8 ounces of softened cream cheese. We're also going to add 1/3 cup of powdered sugar and 3 tablespoons of chocolate liqueur. We want to go ahead and combine this first. Once it's incorporated and all mixed together, we're going to add white chocolate chips. You can melt it in the microwave or a double boiler if you prefer. We're going to lighten this up considerably by adding heavy whipping cream that's been whipped to soft peaks. Now at this point, you want to be very careful to fold this in. We're not trying to beat this or stir this to the point that it's flat. You want to continue to keep all of that wonderful air that we've added to this heavy cream. So by folding it, we'll turn the bowl and go from the bottom to the top. Okay, now that we've folded this, we're going to top our crust. Now we're going to smooth this all the way to the edges. And on this tart, the more, the better. We're going to go ahead and grab our fresh berries. And any berry or fruit that your mom loves would be absolutely perfect at this point. I personally love strawberries, so that's what we'll be using today. For our finishing touch, we're going to drizzle a little bit of this white chocolate over the top. This is a step that can be very, very messy, but is also very, very fun and gives such a fabulous result. And there we are, our chocolate strawberry tart, perfect for Mother's Day.
Just take a look at this little flower. Isn't that a gorgeous color? This is called Lobelia Laguna Blue. It's a tremendous performer. It's a proven winner. And take a look at this lettuce. These are two varieties I just brought in from the vegetable garden. This is an oak leaf lettuce, and this one is the classic Lorraine. I hope you've enjoyed today's show as much as I have. It was fun going back to Arley Hall. I'm glad you could come along. And as far as those recipes go, check out my website. I definitely think they'll make Mother's Day even more special. And if you'd like the list of ingredients that Andy used to create those containers with the kids, you can find that on the website as well, pallensmith.com. Until next time, from the garden, I'm Alan Smith.
In this garden I dream of a bed of flowers. Bluebirds sing of the beauty all around us. And every time the sun comes out, I can't help but smile. Oh, no, I can't help but smile.